Hello, my name is Maria Barragan, and this is a case study number 2, and I will be presenting the different behavioral interventions that we implement with Joe to reduce his behaviors. His first behavior is tantrum, that is defined as any instant of Joe engaging in two or more of these behaviors simultaneously, like crying, screaming, dropping on the floor, head banging, pulling hair, and hitting others. The episode to be counted has to be last at least 10 seconds, and also they're separated by 5 minutes. Non-examples here will be laying on the floor on 10 seconds once it's taking a break. The function of the behavior is access to tangible or attention and escape from demand. We see tantrum episodes whenever we are transitioning Joe to the table, or whenever the timer goes off and he needs to he loves swinging. So whenever he needs to get up from the swing, because it's time to transition to another activity, he also tends to engage in tantrum to avoid that transition and that adverse situation. Some proactive strategies that we implement, we provide a non-contagion positive attention to him through the session. Whenever he's having a safe body, he's listening, following instructions, we're reinforcing that a lot. We also reinforcing his appropriate behavior and functional communication when he uses his device and tell us what he wants. If he requests for a break or for more time in the swing, we reinforce that we want to include that functional communication with him. And also we are contriving opportunities for him to request for removal, such a break or all done, and during those adverse situations and transitions to a non-preferred activity. Reactive strategies, what we do when the behavior is occurring. We provide a space between us and Joe, making sure that he's safe. Of course, if he is not engaging in SIBs, we intervene and block those behaviors. But whenever he's crying and he's been having a safe body, we will give him some space. We will wait for him until he comes down, and then we will redirect the behavior to another activity. We will also prompt him to the request for the break. We will have also the basic necessities available just in case he's hungry or he needs water. So we always redirecting his behavior to other more appropriate behaviors using his communication device and prompted to a functional communication. Another behavior that Joe engages during session is the harmful stimming behavior. Here is defined by any repetitive physical act directed towards on oneself that has to be a potential cause of harm. So what he does, all these stimming behaviors are very harmful because he would press the side of his eye constantly during session, and he has already has a mark. So we are counting this behavior because it just feels good for him. It's a sensory input. So he presses his eye, the corner of his eye a lot. He also hits his hands very harmful with a different surface. So he's always hitting his hands with tables and his fingers, and yeah, tapping the fingers on the floor, tapping the fingers on the chest, um, very harmful. So that will count on the harmful stimulant behaviors. The function of the behavior here is the automatic reinforcement. It's a self-stimulatory behavior. So what we do, the proactive strategies, we are going to remove all the dangerous objects from Joe's environment. We're going to teach him some replacement behaviors, and we will provide some sensory toys like he loves Slinkies and Play-Doh. Um, some like musical toys that he can use instead of tapping his fingers against the floor or hard surfaces. We are going to reinforce. We are now implementing in DRO that every 2 minutes that we notice that Joe is having a safe body, safe fingers, we are reinforcing every 2 minutes his good behavior, his appropriate behavior of having safe body. Um, and we're gonna make sure that his hands are always busy. Whenever the reactive strategies, what are we doing when the behavior is occurring? We are gonna block those behaviors, those harmful stimming. We're not gonna provide attention to the behavior, and we will be providing sensory toys for him to engage in other activities. And we are gonna reinforce that whenever he listens to the instructions and plays with the sensory toys instead of hitting his fingers or pressing the side of his eye, we are gonna reinforce that. We're gonna reinforce his safe hands, safe body, safe eyes by providing sensory toys and reinforcing that safe play with the sensory toys. Another of his behaviors is the loud vocal stimming. So whenever he feels excited and happy, he engages in yelling and engages in vocalizations above talking voice. Example, he will yell and E during session, and it's very loud and it's disturbing others in the clinic or home. So the function of the behavior is automatic reinforcement and self-stimulatory here too. Some of the proactive strategies that we use is we are reinforcing just appropriate vocal stimming, like singing and sounds at the normal talking voice. If he's singing and humming, we will reinforce that. Like, I love the way you are using your inside voice. Great job. Sometimes offering the noise cancellation headphones will also help to decrease those loud vocalizations, and listen to music and during breaks also helps to have an inside voice. The reactive strategies here will be redirect Joe to a calm voice whenever he engages in those loud vocalizations. We say, oh, it's too loud, let's have inside voice. And we also provide the noise cancellation headphones as needed. And we always reinforcing that calm voice. And lastly, we have the mouthing non-edibles here that is defined by any instance of Joe using fingers to smear or play with the saliva or other objects. Spitting on the floor, his hands or objects, licking his hand and playing with his saliva, partially also putting some non-edibles objects in his mouth. Um, and also includes chewing or licking toys. He loves bottle caps. Every time he opens his bottle of water, he likes to chew his bottle cap. So that also is included in the definition. And what it doesn't include when he's wearing his chewy necklace, that we're not counting that as a mouth when he's using his chewy. One of the functions of the behavior will be automatic reinforcement, self-stimulatory too. Proactive strategies. What we have him wearing the chewy necklace to use as a replacement behavior when he engages in those mouthing behaviors, and we are going to reinforce and provide a specific verbal praise when he's using his chewy. I love the way you're wearing your chewy and using it. Great job. So we always providing that reinforcement too. We're gonna, whenever Joe engages in mouthing or not edible behaviors, we are gonna stay neutral, and we are not gonna give attention to that, to the behavior. We're gonna block and remove the object out of his mouth, and we're gonna redirect him to use his chewy instead. And then we're gonna provide that social praise um, for using his chewy instead. So those are Joe's main behaviors and the behavior intervention plan that we are implementing to reduce the instances of these behaviors and teaching more appropriate behaviors um, in each case. All right, thank you so much.